This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one place to build your brand using beautiful websites. Find out more later in the video. May is basically here, meaning that Nintendo's E3 presentation is right around the corner. Obviously, E3 itself doesn't actually exist anymore, at least this year, but Nintendo is obviously going to do a presentation around when they generally did their E3 Directs normally. So with that out of the way, I'm Thomas from the Switch Stop, and here are 10 games that I expect to see at this year's E3. These games are going to be organized in 3 categories. There are 4 games in the guaranteed category. I think 100% these games will show up. Then there are 3 games in the probably category and 3 games in the unlikely. Now, while the first games are obviously more likely to show up, I think the games get cooler and more ambitious naturally as it goes on. So make sure to stick to the end because, I don't know, the ending game is definitely my favorite, although I think it is kind of unlikely. No more rambling, let's get right into the video. The first game that is absolutely 100% without a doubt guaranteed is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass Wave 2. Obviously, we got Wave 1 all the way back in March. Wave 2 is guaranteed to at least be shown off at E3. This is because there are 6 waves that they have to get out before the end of next year. It kind of roughly works out to one every 4 or so months. So this next wave should be releasing in July, which means showing it off at E3 in June is the perfect time to do it. I think this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC is kind of going to take the Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC slot, where Nintendo is going to include it as a pretty big announcement, and it's going to be reliable in almost every single Direct or every single E3, because it is just that big. Smash Ultimate and Mario Kart are almost equally big. Mario Kart obviously has sold more, but Smash Ultimate probably, I'd say, has a more passionate hardcore community, so they're kind of equal in that regard. I don't know, I could make an entire another video of what I want to see in Wave 2, so let me know down in the comments, A, what you want to see in Wave 2, and B, if you want to see me make that video, because there are literally so many tracks I'd want to see, and I could pick some that I don't think I've seen many other people talk about. Moving on to Game 2, Breath of the Wild 2. Not going to spend long at all on this one. We all know it got delayed until around spring of next year, so probably March to April to May. Originally, there was going to be a ton of stuff at this E3 to show off Breath of the Wild because it was going to release later this year. Obviously, that is no longer the case, but I still think we'll see a fair amount, including the name finally. Next up is Mario Strikers Battle League, slated to release later in June. Of course, this will show off at E3. We've literally only gotten 1 trailer for it, despite the fact that it is going to come out in essentially a month and a half now. Well, more like 2 months, but you get the gist. This game has a lot to it under the hood that we just do not understand yet. We don't know if there's going to be a story mode. We need to know all the new characters that haven't been shown off yet. We need to learn more about the economy, the special moves, the stadiums, everything that makes this game unique, because from the looks of the first trailer, there's a lot of it that does make it unique. We just don't really know it all yet. I'm super excited for this game. I think this could sneakily be my game of the year. It just looks so fun, and I literally cannot wait to play it with friends and with PJ and Mac, my other 2, co-members of Switch Stop. So literally cannot wait for this. Hopefully they show it off ASAP. Next up, and the last game I want to talk about in this guaranteed section, is Splatoon 3. This is obviously now coming out in September because, well, they kind of did a switcheroo with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is coming out, I guess, in July now. But Splatoon is coming out in September, and I think that's honestly a fine spot for it. Obviously, Splatoon is a bit more of a summer game, but I think it works in September. It can give them a little bit more time to polish some stuff up and hopefully add something new. That is my big complaint with Splatoon, and again, I'm planning on making a whole unique video for this. Splatoon needs to have some sort of unique mode here in Splatoon 3. Splatoon 2 was already very, very similar to Splatoon 1, but it did have Salmon Run, and the campaign was vastly expanded, so I think a lot of people gave it a pass in that regard. However, Splatoon 3, it cannot just be these new specials. That's pretty much all they've been advertising, that this game has a bunch of new specials, and it seems to have a little dodge roll move when you come right out of the ink, which is cool, but that does not warrant a $60 sequel, especially when Splatoon 2 is already available on the same console. This game needs to have some unique new modes. I'm thinking either Battle Royale, some sort of insane new ranked mode that is show-stopping and only can be done in Splatoon, something like that. Maybe finally a team deathmatch, solo deathmatch, anything like that. This game needs to have a new mode because, again, Splatoon 2 is on the same console, has had years of support plus the Octo expansion DLC. I just don't understand why anyone right now would buy Splatoon 3 over Splatoon 2 unless you're a huge Splatoon fan, because it just doesn't look like that big of an improvement, I guess. All right, moving on to the probably section, we are probably going to get some new information on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, raise your hands. I mean, how many of you honestly just forgot about those games? They weren't in your mind until I just sent them. That's because Game Freak has really not done any single promotional material at all ever since that game initially got its trailer way back a couple months ago now. I honestly forgot about them until one of my friends mentioned them, like, oh yeah, we got those new Pokemon games this year, right? I was like, oh yeah. Like, honestly, I don't know. The game looks cool, but there's nothing we've seen from it that's like, oh my god, this is groundbreaker. Like, it's supposed to be open world again. That's kind of cool, but we kind of already got that with the Wild Area and Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like, we need some really big info from Pokemon. However, what is kind of interesting is the fact that I think this is a probably, even though normally, like, you would think, hey, this is going to be their big holiday title. Of course, they'll show this at E3. Generally, Nintendo doesn't show Pokemon games in their own E3 Directs. They kind of let Pokemon do their own Pokemon Presents thing, which is like right as, like, you know, it either happens a week earlier or a week later. So I don't know if this is guaranteed, but it'll probably be there. Next up for probably is a brand new Mario game. I don't know if this is going to be another spin-off, because we are already getting one spin-off, obviously, with Mario Strikers Battle League, or if this will be a new mainline 2D or 3D game. 3D, I doubt it. 2D is definitely possible, because we literally haven't gotten one since, like, what, 2012, if you're not counting the Mario Maker games. But regardless, I do think we will get a new Mario game shown off at this E3. Nintendo does normally show off new Mario games, like we got Mario Party Superstars last E3, so I think it's definitely possible. I don't think it's guaranteed though. That's why it's in the probably section. Next up in probably is Metroid. Any kind of Metroid presentation. I think probably I'm leaning towards the Prime trilogy, although there have been rumors that Metroid Prime 1 in particular is getting fully remade, and obviously there's the looming, you know, golden goose of Metroid Prime 4, which is very, very close. I think that game is closer than a lot of people think, like within the next 2 years, but like, it's just, we've gone so long without hearing about it that it's impossible to, you know, say for sure that's the one that's coming. Who knows, honestly, but I do think there will be some sort of Metroid. There just seem to be a bunch of Metroid projects. Again, Metroid Prime trilogy, which we know has been done forever, basically. Apparently, there's gonna be another Metroid 2D game. Like, I don't think it'll be a brand new game like Dread, but supposedly maybe Samus Returns HD. I don't know. Those are all rumors. But yeah, it just seems like it's time for another Metroid thing, cause Metroid Dread did so well. Before we get into the final section of today's video, let's take a look at today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform in order to build your brand online. But instead of just telling you what Squarespace does well, I'm gonna show you. I want to get some cool internships making videos, and I need a professional place to show off the YouTube content that I've made in the past. So I started by scrolling through Squarespace's many professional templates and ended up settling on one I wanted to stick with. Then I was off to the races, immediately customizing it to make it truly my own. Obviously, you can customize text and everything. I uploaded an image that was completely incorrect for like the resolution I wanted, but you can literally just crop it down on Squarespace. No need to take it into another program or anything. Seriously, these guys make it so easy for you to make something that looks legitimately really professional and really good with minimal effort or really any coding knowledge or anything like that. That's without even mentioning the fact that you're able to easily embed videos, link to your other social media accounts, and then once your site's launched, you're provided with tons of in-depth analytics to help truly perfect your site and perfectly demonstrate your brand. Click the link in the description, and then when you're ready to launch your site, use code SWITCHEDUP and you'll save 10% off your purchase. Now let's move into the unlikely category. The first one is Pikmin 4, and I have to put this here just because ever since like in 2015 when Miyamoto said Pikmin 4 was basically done, everyone has said this is the year we finally get shown Pikmin 4. It's never happened, but just judging by Nintendo, I guess the year it doesn't happen means it'll finally happen. So I gotta put it on this list just for, you know, like completionist's sake, I guess. Moving right along then, this is the one honestly I probably want the most besides this final option, which obviously I'll get to in a minute. This is a Kid Icarus Uprising HD remake. Now, I just made a video all about the HD remakes I want to see come to Switch, and I'll link it at the end of this video, but Kid Icarus was obviously on that list. It is my most wanted remake, I think, by far. I think it would be unbelievable. Kid Icarus, I'm not going to go into it again. I literally, in the last video I made, I went on this exact rant, so I'm going to cut myself off here. This would be amazing, though. Just trust me, it would be utterly phenomenal. Unfortunately, unlikely, though. That's why it's second to last, with the last one being a brand new Donkey Kong game. The reason this is so far down on the likelihood spectrum is because I have been burned by wanting a new DK game for a while. Donkey Kong is probably my favorite series when it comes to like consistency. Like, I wish I could say Mario, but Mario has had some bad games. I really don't think Donkey Kong has ever had a truly bad game. Although, to be fair, I've never played like the one with the bongos or anything like that. I'm mainly talking about like Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong as a platformer is unbelievable. Donkey Kong Country games are great. The Donkey Kong 64 game, I honestly think is kind of overhated. It just has a couple of really big flaws. Regardless, we did get a rumor that the Mario Odyssey team was making a 3D Donkey Kong game, and that would be probably my dream come true video game. That would be unbelievable because Donkey Kong is just so fun. I love the Donkey Kong vibe. I love the music. I love the controls. I honestly think Donkey Kong Country as a 2D platformer beats like all the 2D Marios for me. I honestly think they do. So I am really hoping that this ends up happening. I don't think it will, because that's why it's at the bottom of this list. I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about it. I think Donkey Kong is good, and Nintendo like enjoys Donkey Kong, but they've never supported him that much. And the fact that Tropical Freeze is already on the Switch kind of kills my hope for a new 2D Donkey Kong game. New 3D one, I guess, is possible, but I don't know. No one really knows at this point. This is just kind of what I'm hoping. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. If you think this is gonna happen, tell me why. And if you have another game that you want to see, you think will be there, or something that probably won't, but you just really want to see it anyway, let me know down in the comments below. I read almost all the comments and I'll respond to like most of them as well. Hit the like button if you did enjoy. Thank you so much for Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.